we're going to do this, but we're going to do it our way.
You bought a robot, baby?
Wow, that was a joke grenade. That took me a second. Imagine the poop emoji as furniture.
It's weird that we didn't do that 10 minutes ago.
We should have started that before, you know. That makes a lot of sense. Why wouldn't we do that?
Too late now.
Matt, you forgot to disclaimer this part. We're old, and we remember how it used to be. There, go. And it was better then, too. You got to put that in there. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly.
While you guys are weaving belts, I'm going to sing this little tune that I wrote.
We think we're funny. On with the show.
This is X Radio X.
Well, good evening, Matt.
Booyah.
I've hit record, so that
Yes.
means it's time for another episode of X Radio X. This is what, episode 17?
It is episode 17, so we're barely legal.
Yeah, I mean, oh, wow. It's funny. You went with barely legal. I was going to say, if our podcast was a high schooler, we'd arguably be entering our senior year, which I suppose is barely legal.
That's true. Makes me feel weird.
Yeah, I feel all kinds. Maybe we should. Now we won't start over. But so, hi everybody. I'm Jayce.
I'm Matt.
This is X Radio X. So we're gonna get episode 17 started, and just to let you know, just to be fair, Matt gets all the credit for this one.
And all the blame if it's horrible.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant by all the credit, because it's going to be fantastic.
I'll take it.
But on the off chance that it's horrible, Matt gets all the credit.
All right. Sounds beautiful. So we want to do a disclaimer, but should I say what we're talking about today first, or should we just Okay, so today, because we had a blast doing it last time, and it's been a few episodes since we did it, I am always OCD about song lyrics, and so I have another batch of weird lyrics that don't make sense. A couple of them, I just want to preface that they make somewhat sense, but they are ridiculous, and they're nonsensically logical, if that makes any sense. But they're going to be fun.
Logical.
There are all songs that I can't wait to get your take on. And so we have 5 or 6 songs to get through that are going to be really fun to talk about.
I just want to say, Matt, that I loved Nonsensically Logical's first album. It was a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's when the guy wore the big suit and he was like, "This is not my beautiful house.
This is not my beautiful wife."
Yeah.
That song was just on the radio the other day.
We're going to say some bad words today, so let's do this disclaimer.
Yeah, let's see if I can pull this disclaimer off. So, as I told you, Matt, before we started this, usually we have a disclaimer it's funny, pokes lighthearted fun at the fact that we say curse words from time to time.
Right.
Not just because we're old enough to say them and we like to, but we feel it adds a little spice and flavor to what we do.
Definitely.
But this time, instead of going the route of a funny disclaimer, I'd like to bring it down and have a serious moment with everybody. And in the form of what radio veterans used to call a public service announcement, or PSA, this is from your friend Jayce to you guys, all of our listeners out there. And I'd like to bring to your attention the fight and plight of people who suffer from ice cream poisoning. Now, you might laugh like Matt is right now, and that's pretty shitty of you to do that. But ice cream poisoning affects at least one out of every 20 to 30,000 of us out there. And
now I feel bad.
And you might think it's funny, and it does sound kind of funny because ice cream is delicious. But when you can't handle dairy, and it is somebody's birthday, and you said yes, I'm going to go have ice cream cones with you for your birthday. Some of us suffer from ice cream poisoning. So I'd like you, everybody out there in X Radio X Land, to think about the plight of all of us who suffer from ice cream poisoning, and put us in your thoughts and prayers. And on that note, I'd like to
donate if you can.
Yes, donate if you can. But, with that being said, I'd like to warn you of the perils of ice cream poisoning, and that we'll probably say shit during this episode.
Excellent.
You've been warned. It was the worst public service announcement ever written.
I feel like we're covered, though. From a legal aspect, I think we're in good standing.
Yes, for the 1 in 20 to 30,000 people that suffer from ice cream poisoning, like me.
There is help.
There is help. I don't know where it is, and if you find it, I'd like you to let me know. But I'm told there is help.
But it exists.
It exists.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have let's see, I have 6 songs. I'm going to start with one that it might technically make sense, but it's ridiculous, and it goes back to 1969. Okay, we're talking
the
about
summer of '69.
Yes, it might not have been the summer, but yes, it's the year 1969 when a small one-hit wonder duo decided to look into the future all the way to the year 2525. Do you know the song I'm referring to?
I feel like I will as soon as you tell me.
It's Zager and Evans in the year 2525.
I've listened to a lot of music in my life, Matt. A lot.
Yeah,
I've never heard of this song.
So if you listen to oldies radio for any amount of time, this was a big hit. I mean, it was a hit for them. It was 6 weeks at number 1 in 1969, both in the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 and in the U.K. It was number 1. They are the only act to have a number 1 single in both the U.S. and the U.K. and then never have another charted single their entire career. So
Really?
Their claim to fame is only being good one time.
Wow. I feel like there's a lot of jokes to be made there, and I'm totally swinging and missing at the moment.
Yeah. So now Zager, he builds custom guitars, Zager guitars in Nebraska. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but that's his new career. He doesn't make music anymore. Rick Evans.
I do play guitar, but I'm not good enough to play a custom guitar.
Rick Evans is the other guy, and he wrote the lyrics to In the Year 2525. Also, parenthetically, it's called Exordium and Terminus, which means beginning and end.
No,
so the lyrics...
I have to look this up. I feel like you're totally punking me.
You'll know it when you look it up, but the lyrics, basically, it starts out, it's a rambling little ditty, and it's a very catchy song, but I don't know that anyone who's ever heard the song actually listened to the lyrics because they are ridiculous. It starts out, in the year 2525, if man is still alive. So far, so good, sort of in a post-apocalyptic theme that we're dealing with, but then it goes on to say, if woman can survive. So it starts out saying if man is still alive, you think, the universal man, referring to all of us, but then it specifically points out if woman can survive. I feel like Zager and Evans were trying to say, not likely. They may find. And then they don't do anything with that premise. That's the beginning of the song. In the year 2525, if man is still alive, if woman can survive, they may find ... And then
it goes in the year 3535.
Then we jump 1,010 years later. So first off, they should have just called the song In the Year 3535 because they didn't think anything in the year 2525. I also have to point out that several people who I pointed out, I was researching this song, made sure to say, oh, well, that's right around the corner because they thought it was, for some reason, 2025.
Yeah, 2525 is not right around the corner.
Every single person I mentioned it to was like, well, that's funny because now it's just a few years away. And I said, no, it's like 500 years away. And then they were like, oh, yeah, that's right. So the song goes on. In the year 3535, ain't gonna need to tell the truth, tell no lies. Everything you think, do, and say is in the pill you took today. How does that make sense?
The Matrix?
How does that make sense?
They knew about the Matrix in 1969.
But everything you think, do, and say is in the pill you took today. So who's handing out the pills? Are they saying say we're talking about Zager. They give Zager a pill and they say, Zager, today you're going to talk to Evans about your lawn and you need to get out there and mow the lawn. And Evans, here's your pill. You're going to talk to Zager about your neighbor who keeps using your garbage cans. Here's your pill. That's what you're going to talk about. It doesn't make any sense.
None of this makes sense.
It's ridiculous. So it continues in the year 4545, and you're seeing a theme here now. Ain't gonna need your teeth, won't need your eyes. You won't find a thing to chew. Nobody's gonna look at you. It's sort of depressing, right? Are you looking forward to the future?
No, not anymore. If Zager and Evans, who are we talking about? I'm so confused by this song. I started out confused because one, I'd never heard of it. I'm sure if I heard it, I'd know.
You would know if you heard it. It was like I said, number one for.
I worked in
6 weeks.
oldies radio for a short stint.
Yeah, you would definitely know it. It starts out very troubadour, like in the year 2525.
Oh, I love that you're singing.
You're welcome. And then it starts to chug along a little bit faster. But so far, you're lost, right? Me too.
Totally lost.
We move to in the year 5555. Your arms are hanging limp at your sides. Your legs got nothing to do. Some machine is doing that for you. So this is really the setup to Wall-E.
I was going to say it's Wall-E.
It's Wall-E. This is the only prophetic thing they really were accurate about is a Pixar movie.
I don't know. The whole pill thing is a little Matrix-y, maybe a little Alice in Wonderland, take this pill type thing.
Okay, but it's telling you that if you take a pill, it's going to tell you everything you think, do, and say for the day. Like each day you take a pill and it basically...
What if you run out of your prescription? Are you just motionless?
You say nothing, you think nothing, you do nothing. If you don't take your pill.
Sounds like a dream day.
That's I know, I don't have any problem with that. But that's probably the promo for the pill in the year 3535. It says, don't take your pill. You do nothing. You say nothing. You think nothing. And then people are like, I better take my damn pill. That's what I would say anyway. No, I wouldn't, unless the pill I took yesterday
still is working. Told
me to think that.
See, you're stuck in an infinity loop if you don't take the pill, because then you'll never know to take it again.
This is insane. Okay.
So you have to have somebody like, all right, Matt, you take your pill. And like it's lasts like every 12 hours, we got to remind each other to take the pill. Otherwise, it's like somebody hit stop on the cassette player.
Well, I'm sure Big Pill has definitely programmed take your next pill into the pill's thoughts for the day. So your Wednesday pill says, don't forget to take Thursday's pill in the morning. It's got to, right? Or the whole plan is a wash.
I don't know. This whole thing's ridiculous. But
in 500 years, they will have the technology. So we don't have to worry about it now. But 500 years from now, 1,500 years from now, because obviously the year 2525, nothing happens. But in the year 3535, they'll have figured all of this out. So we don't have to actually stress. We can just be confused. So in the year 6565 now, we have jumped ahead into the future even more. If you can even imagine, ain't gonna need no husband, won't need no wife. You'll pick your son, pick your daughter too, from the bottom of a long glass tube. Whoa. That's how they end it. Now, this is the funny thing, is that you kind of sort of can do that now.
Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, this one had to jump into 65, but we're actually closer to that than any of the things.
It's not like a grocery store. Like you could walk down the aisle and say, I'll take red hair and green eyes. And this week I'd like a boy. And next week I'd like a girl. And we could pretend that they're twins, that they're only a week apart. No, we're not there yet, but we're to the point where we can kind of do some of that stuff.
And don't forget that you would have to take your pill on Wednesday that said, on Thursday, you're going to go baby shopping. So somebody has to tell you, all right, Zager, you're going to take your Tuesday pill. It's going to tell you that on Wednesday, you're going to go baby shopping and you're going to pick red hair and you're going to pick good grades in math and you're going to pick a little bit, loose with the fellas. And then you're going to plug in some buttons, and then next week you'll have a baby.
Did you really just say pick a little bit loose with the fellas?
Well,
like when
someone's got to.
Seriously, when you're picking a daughter, this is one of the things you're going to choose. And there's not a father out there that's going to choose that.
The population has to continue, Jayce. Someone has to keep...
Well,
if everyone stayed away from everyone, then there would be no people.
Note to self, don't let Matt have a daughter. Or at least don't let him shop for one.
All right. Can we continue
Everything about
moving?
This conversation is giving me the...
Can we jump forward into the future, please?
Oh, I don't think we have a choice in this song. I've seen the lyrics.
All right. So Zager, Evans decides now we're only going to jump another 945 years ahead and go to the year 7510. Why? Because it rhymes. That's the only reason why. If God's a-coming, he ought to make it by then. There you go. He couldn't have thought of something else that rhymed with 5. He had to go to 7510. Maybe he'll look around himself and say, guess it's time for the judgment day. Okay, so now we're getting really end of days. However, the interesting thing about that verse is it doesn't go anywhere until in the year 8510. God is going to shake his mighty head. So God really gave it some thought. Like from 7510 to 8510, he was thinking if it's time for the judgment day. And I guess everything moves slower. A lot of red tape you have to cut through. And when you're making it judgment day, they don't just snap their fingers.
It might be 1,000 years to us, 10 minutes to God.
Yeah. But it's good that there are some checks and balances is what I'm saying. Like if you're really going to make it the end, give it 100 years of thought. 1,000, whatever. 1,000 years of thought.
It's 1,000.
So, okay, in the year 8510, God is going to shake his mighty head then. He'll either say, I'm pleased where man has been, or tear it down and start again. Whoa. What do you think at the year 8510 if people are hanging limp, doing nothing, machines doing it for you? Do you think...
Not taking pills or whatever.
Yeah. Do you think he, she, God is a they. Do you think that they would say, yeah, I'm good with this. This sounds like a really good situation. My work here is done. Like maybe that's the goal.
Maybe he'll say, my work here is done, shake his head, and everything's destroyed because I'm so confused.
Well,
I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to follow the train of thought of this song. And maybe if it's put to music, I would be like, oh, I get it.
What's funny about it, what I love about this song is it's catchy and it's fun to listen to and you sing along. Like when you're tuning in, you're like, yeah, in the year 25, you're like bopping a little. And then if you stop and listen to the lyrics, you're like, this is effing depressing. It's really sad. So we're jumping ahead. We're getting to the 1,085 years later after the God of your choice decides what to do with us. In the year 9595, Evans says, I'm kind of wondering if man is going to be alive. Like now he's just wondering. He's taken everything this old earth can give. There we go, a little Earth Day plug. And he ain't put back nothing. So that is probably the only verse that I don't have really any issue with. It kind of makes sense. It's a thought about, resources and maybe a little Thanos-y about how we have taken and we haven't given back to the earth.
I feel like these two are being woke now, and I just can't listen to this anymore.
This was written in 1969.
The original time of wokeness.
So, this is when the music stops, Jayce. If you don't remember the song, this is when the music stops. The drums are silent. Evans says, now it's been 10,000 years. Now already, mathematically, I have a problem with that because it's eliminating anything BC. It's assuming that we haven't been around since the year 1. So it's closer to, he should have said now it's been 20,000 years or 15,000, something like that. But anyway, at this point, it's a minor matter. Man has cried 1 billion tears for what he never knew. Now man's reign is through. And then he gets philosophical. But through eternal night, the twinkling of starlight so very far away, maybe it's only yesterday. And then in the year 2525, we go back to that. If man is still alive, if woman can survive, again, he's not convinced that woman can last, they may thrive. What do you think?
I don't know. These lyrics are dumb. They make no sense.
Number one hit on the Hot Billboard charts for 6 weeks.
Every time you say in the year 7510 or in the year 5558, you want to know what I think every time you say this?
What?
In the year 2000.
I know.
Water will drip up.
It really is like it's a nonsense concept. I think that I get what they were trying to do. I do. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to write Wall-E well before it was written, and they were moderately successful with this song. But it doesn't make any actual logical sense. The concept makes sense, but the way they decided to write about it was really ridiculous. I can't believe you don't know this song.
You got me. You stumped me. This doesn't happen very often, but
it doesn't.
It's one of those where, like, I'm sure if I go listen to it, like if I head out to YouTube or Spotify or wherever and put this in and be like, oh, that song. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, that is catchy. The lyrics are stupid, but the song is kind of catchy. And it was a number one. So what the hell do I know, right?
Right.
But it was a number one in 1969 and nobody knew shit then anyway. So,
all right, that's fair. I think what I like about the song and what I like about the nonsense of it is that it's one of those songs that successfully made people really pay no attention to what it was about because it was catchy, because it happened at the right time. It had a few lyrics about saving the earth and about, the future and what could the future hold. And I think people just kind of glazed over because, like you said, it was 1969 and they didn't pay attention to the fact that what they were writing was when in the year 3535, we're all just going to be pudding in bowls and someone's going to tell us what to think and we won't interact with other people at all.
Some would argue that that's happening right now.
It kind of is. Well, it's like our conversation with Derek Duvall when we were talking about Sirius Radio. I think it makes people lazy, and I think that we're all turning into music pudding.
And I think you can make that analogy for things like Sirius, YouTube, Spotify, all of those things, because the algorithm, as they say, you pick one thing and all of a sudden it starts thinking, this is what they like. Find more like exactly like this. Keep finding it. Keep giving it to them. And then you get in that rut where unless you make the active effort to get out of that rut and go find something else, you're just going to keep doing that same thing. And you can kind of make that analogy to maybe parts of these lyrics. I'm really stretching here. I'm trying.
I know, but I appreciate the effort.
But I think if you sit down and think about it, that's kind of what they're saying is, at this point, if we keep going on the track we're on, you're not going to have to do this because it'll all be done for you. And guess what? Add another, is it eon 1,000 years? Add another eon to that. Now you don't have to do this either. You're not going to, because now we have all of these things to move us around. You're not going to need arms and legs. You're not going to need a relationship because we can just build people in a lab somewhere, which you and I kind of talked about can almost kind of happen if you have the right ingredients. And then in another eon, maybe we have so many technological things we don't even need to think that there's a God or any higher being, whatever that may be to you. Sure. And then and another, was that another eon? I have to look at the math here to see if it keeps going 1,000. And then you know what? God's really out there. God's going to shake his head, and is God going to be happy with where we're at? I don't ever remember hearing this song before, but just quickly reading these lyrics going, I think I see the track they're on, which was I feel like it was a very popular track and idea to do in that time period when this song came out was, what are we going to, guys? Because it was kind of the dawn of the technological civilization. Yeah. Things were really happening fast then. Computers were a thing, not the way we see them, but they were a thing.
Yeah.
And we have all of this stuff. What's going to happen now? Broadcast TV, radio, all of these different ways to get information. Boy, if 1969 could see 2021, 1969 would be like, all right, we're cool. Just stop.
Yeah. That's a good point. Doesn't help the song at all, but it's a good point.
But and maybe that's the idea of the song.
Yeah, I think you're right. You've harnessed the crux of the intent of the song, but lyrically it's
ridiculous.
All right, this next one you are going to know. If you don't know this one, I'm kind of happy for you, but I know you're going to know this song.
Do we have to stop being friends if I don't know this song?
No, I'm going to be proud of you. If you don't know this, if you didn't have to hear this song in the summer of 1999, then
oh boy, I'm definitely going to know this song.
Yeah. So we're talking about, this is a song that reached number 3 in the Billboard pop charts from 1999. It's from a band that like to call themselves the Light Funky Ones.
Oh no.
Also known as LFO.
Oh no, this is I know this song. This is the girls who like Abercrombie and Fitch. I'd take her if I had one. Itch. She's been gone for the summer. I got the lyrics wrong, but I don't think it matters because it's LFO and nobody cares.
So we're talking about LFO. If you've not heard the song is called Summer Girls. It was number 3 in 1999. It was all over the radio. All over.
I'm almost ashamed to admit that I remember hearing this a couple times going, this is really catchy.
Yeah. Oh, it's super catchy.
Super catchy.
So LFO was formed in like 1995. They had to change their name.
Somebody walked down an aisle and looked in a test tube when I'll take a light one, and then I'll take a funky one, and then I'll take, I don't know what O stands for, but we'll just take another one.
Ones. So they had to change their name to Light Funky Ones because LFO is in the UK is electronic techno band. So in the UK they're known as Light Funky Ones, but in the US they were just known as LFO. They started out in 95. They did a couple covers that kind of got some traction on radio, but not really. They were more like MTV darlings. In 97 they covered New Kids on the Block, which, they have a wealth of covers to their name. They covered Step by Step by New Kids on the Block.
Really? Of all the ones they picked that could cover, that was the one they go for?
I know. 98, they did a decent cover of Yvonne Elliman's Can't Have You. If I can't have you. Anyway.
I don't want nobody else, baby.
Yeah, you got it. So, but their biggest hit by far is 1999 Summer Girls. So I'm going to start reading the lyrics and you tell me when your head starts to hurt. So the beginning.
Done.
The beginning, you basically said, I like it when the girls stop by in the summer. Do you remember when we met that summer? The chorus is fantastic. New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick. And I think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer. I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch. I'd take her if I had one wish. But she's been gone since that summer. Now I already have
he's pining
questions.
For summertime girls.
Yeah, I already have questions, though. Because he's talking about summer girls, but he's talking about that one girl. Is it summer girls or is it a specific girl that he wants?
I think you're hanging out on the wrong part of lyrics because you need to go to the next verse because it gets even
do you
better.
mean Chinese food makes me sick is not an appropriate line in a chorus of a pop song?
Well, I think they're wrong because Chinese food is fantastic. It's one of my favorite of all types of food. Now, I will say Americanized Chinese food is delicious. I can't honestly say traditional because I've never been to China and had traditional Chinese food. But Americanized version, one of my favorites.
So factually inaccurate then. New Kids on the Block did have a bunch of hits. That much is true. They had probably 10 hit songs. So
like 10 years before this song came out, maybe.
So they got that right. Chinese food makes me sick. I would say leave that off of a song if you're trying to pick up summer girls. Maybe not make them think of you throwing up, eating Chinese food or worse. Maybe don't make that the chorus of your song, is my opinion.
Maybe not bring it up unless they pick it to go out to eat.
Maybe not bring it up at all. Yeah, maybe just suggest something else. Maybe say, I really would like to go for a burger. Maybe you don't tell everyone, the world, that if I eat Chinese food, I'm either going to throw up or shit myself. I'm just...
Because what if, LFO, if there was like, oh, these people are like, this song is really catchy. I think, oh, hold on. We own Chinese restaurants. You bastards. Well,
they are alienating a population there. Yeah. But, here's the other thought. The other side of that coin is, all right, we're going to blow up the pop charts. People are going to want to hang out with us. People are going to want to be our friends. But we don't want that awkward situation where we're in a big group of people, our fans, and they say, hey, LFO, come hang out at this Chinese restaurant with us. And they have to say, gotta pass. And then it's awkward. And then those fans think like they're giving them the cold shoulder, but really it's because Chinese food makes them sick. So they thought, let's just put it right in the chorus of our biggest hit. And then we'll never have that awkward moment.
Ugh.
Do you think?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's good news is it gets worse.
It does get worse. Read ahead in the lyrics. It gets mind-bogglingly dumb. Yeah, go ahead.
So the next verse starts out, hip hop, marmalade, spick and span.
Okay, right there. Let's just stop right there for a moment.
That up.
We don't.
All right.
Let's just break down those three things. I feel like we're playing one of these things is not like the other, but the answer is every single one of these things is not like the other.
That's right.
I guess maybe the best correlation you could draw is you might use spick and span to clean up marmalade if you spilled it on the floor or a counter.
There you go.
How hip hop relates into that, I have no idea. Hip hop is a class of music. It's very enjoyable. Marmalade, I acquired taste probably. I wouldn't go as far as doing to it what you did to Chinese food.
No.
It's not really fair. Spick and span. Do they even sell that anymore? Is that even a thing?
I don't know. You went as far as to say Chinese food makes you sick, and then you named three things that you have no opinion on. It's not like hip hop, good, marmalade, spick and span, great for cleaning. You didn't say anything. We're just left to think, why would you say all those things? And then it's because the next line is met you one summer and it all began. Now, are you telling me that he couldn't think of any other word that rhymed with began? No other series of syllables could have gone before met you one summer and it all began?
I don't know. This makes no sense to me. Hip hop, marmalade, spick and span, met you one summer and it all began.
How about
you're the best girl that I ever did see? And then I'll let you go to the next line because guess what? It makes absolutely no sense.
So if I wanted to get to met you one summer and it all began, I could start with write a dumb lyric. I think I can. Met you one summer and it all began. There you go. That's better.
Showing off to hot chicks. I think I can. Met you one summer and it all began.
There's so many. Pretty much any other lyric would have made more sense than hip hop, marmalade, spick and span. But good for them. They've entered those songs into pop culture forever. So that's a win, I think, for spick and span, certainly.
Hey girl, throw up those high five hands. Met you one summer and it all began.
I like that. That's a good one. That's a good one. There's one of those guys is still touring, so we should give that to them.
Is it L, F, or O? I bet you that joke's never been made before.
Which one are you, L or F or O? Yeah. And they'd be like, I'll give you an F.
Right in the L-O, buddy.
You're the best girl that I ever did see. The great Larry Bird, Jersey 33. Now, again, factual.
Are those supposed to be two facts in a row?
I guess. So you're the best girl that I ever did see is great. That's a classic song lyric. The great Larry Bird, Jersey 33 is a fact. Well, a weird worded fact, but it's true. It just doesn't ever get referred to again in the song. It doesn't make sense. So, continuing. When you take a sip, you buzz like a hornet. Billy Shakespeare wrote a whole bunch of sonnets. Now, I do have to say that I think they're from the Boston area. So hornet and sonnets did rhyme.
They've Hornet and sonnet. It doesn't. I can't even fake make it rhyme.
You buzz like a hornet. Billy Shakespeare wrote a whole bunch of sonnets. So, in defense of their accent, that is a rhyme, but it's still ridiculous. First off, Billy Shakespeare. Okay, William Shakespeare would have still fit phonetically, or
well, they got to be cool. Come on,
I guess they know him as Billy.
Yeah.
I don't really get this one. Call me Willie Whistle because I can't speak, baby. Is that some pop culture reference? Because I don't get it. Willie Whistle, is that something that I should know? I don't know it.
I feel like there's innuendo there, maybe, but
yeah, something in your eyes went and drove me crazy. Now I can't forget you, and it makes me mad. Left one day and never came back. Stayed all summer, then went back home. Macaulay Culkin was in Home Alone.
I ran out of lyrics, so I'll just state a fact.
Again, it is true. He was in Home Alone.
It was.
But why are you
telling us?
Billy
Shakespeare did write sonnets.
Yeah.
Larry Bird wore 33.
Right. Yeah.
Spick and Span cleans up marmalade if you're listening to hip hop. Macaulay Culkin was in Home Alone. All true facts.
So let me... All right. I love this song, by the way. It's very catchy. Stayed all summer, then went back home. Macaulay Culkin was in Home Alone. Fell deep in love, but now we ain't speaking. Michael J. Fox was in Alex P. Keaton. What the fuck?
When I met you, I said, my name is Rich. You look like a girl from Abercrombie and Fitch. They finally get back to the song name.
Yeah. Right. And then, New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits, blah, blah, blah. I have to point out, though, that was said several times in the song. It wasn't like the rest of these throwaway lines were throwaway lines. You don't have to sing Spick and Span 100 times in a song, but Chinese Food Makes Me Sick was in your chorus. You came back to that for everyone to sing along. Chinese Food Makes Me Sick.
Maybe they're just yelling out facts of things that are about themselves.
And only really 80% of them are facts. So let's continue. After the chorus, we get to Cherry Pez.
Gosh, it gets even worse.
Oh, yeah. Cherry Pez, Coke Crush, Rock Stud, Boogie. Those are really just words. I'm not even sure any of them have any meaning other than Pez probably had a cherry flavor. Cherry Pez, Coke Crush, Rock Stud, Boogie. Now, you parse that out for me.
I can't. I don't know what it means. I feel like these are call signs on ham radio. Beep, beep, beep. This is Cherry Pez looking for Coke Crush out there. Hey, Rock Stud Boogie. Gotta holler back at you. I'm sure they don't say holler back on ham radio, but I don't ham radio, so I don't know. But that's what it sounds like. This is Cherry Pez. Come back here now. All right, good buddy. Coke Crush here.
Coke Crush to Rock Stud Boogie. Coke Crush to Rock Stud Boogie. You might be onto something.
Convoy.
All right. So I also have to point out that this guy dated Jennifer Love Hewitt for a while.
Shut up.
Yeah. So Cherry Pez, Coke Crush, Rock Stud Boogie.
She has the best taste in guys.
Used to hate school, so I had to play hooky. Okay. It's a weak lyric, but there's a logical follow through.
I believe they went to the cliche lyric notebook and went, what can I do?
Yeah. Always been hip to the B-boy style.
I
known
doubt
to
it.
Act wild and make a girl smile. Now I'm starting to think, hey, this is a song. This has words that make sense, and they have a train of thought. Love New Edition and Candy Girl. So do I.
Same. I can get on board with that.
Great song. Remind Me of You Because You Rock My World. Excellent. It's a callback to Candy Girl. In the song Candy Girl, they say you rock my world. So I'm loving this part of the song. You Come From Georgia Where the Peaches Grow. They did that before Bieber did it.
Another fact.
Yep. They drink lemonade and speak real slow. That's also true.
Yeah, but it's kind of being a little stereotypical.
It is, but it's a stereotype that makes sense. If it were, I would expect from LFO, they drink lemonade and wear robot masks. Because it doesn't make sense.
They've already said Billy Shakespeare and given up that they're probably from the New England area. So if we're going to be stereotypical, let's just roll everybody over right now.
Yeah. You love hip hop and rock and roll. Cool. Dad took off when you were 4 years old. That's a little dark.
That's sad.
And again, now I think we're talking about a specific person again, not just all summer girls. There was a good man named Paul Revere, but then let's not talk about that ever again and say, I feel much better, baby, when you're near.
Just leave that hanging, I suppose.
Let's put a pin in Paul Revere. I might get back to him later, but frankly, probably not. I feel much better, baby, when you're near. You love Fun Dip and Cherry Coke. Fine. I like the way you laugh when I tell a joke. A little self-centered.
That's sweet.
He should just really like the way she laughs at all times, not just when he tells a joke. Then he goes back to, when I met you, I said, my name is Rich. You'd look like a girl from Abercrombie & Fitch, which I wonder how often that pickup line works.
And I wonder if his name really is Rich.
It is. It is. Rich Cronin was his name. That's the guy that dated Jennifer Love Hewitt. But I wonder if he used that line on her. You look like a girl from Abercrombie & Fitch. He probably said, you look like a girl from, what's that TV show called? Take Five?
Party of Five.
There you go. Party of Five. So then they do the chorus again. Then they do sort of a break it down bridge. In the summertime, girls, this is, I can't read this song without laughing. In the summertime, girls got it going on. Shake and wiggle to a hip hop song. Good so far. Summertime girls are the kind I like. I'll steal your honey like I stole your bike. Bitch. Like, it really, why would he say that? I steal your honey like I stole your bike.
He's hard, yo.
He is hard. It doesn't, now I feel like
no, I'll steal your honey like I stole your bike. That's a line from a Beastie Boys song, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
What song?
Shoot. Hold It Now, Hit It, I think.
Wow. Well, I have a little bit more respect for them. Boogaloo shrimp and pogo sticks. My mind takes me back there oh so quick. Let you off the hook like my man, Mr. Limpet. Think about that summer and I bug because I miss it. Like the color purple, macaroni and cheese, ruby red slippers, and a bunch of trees. A bunch of trees?
Is it the trees that threw apples at Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz? That's why he likes ruby red slippers?
I guess he likes the color purple. I'm assuming the movie, or maybe just the color purple, and macaroni and cheese. So he's a down to earth guy. I like purple. I like macaroni and cheese, ruby red slippers, and a bunch of trees. I ran
out of rhymes.
Yeah. He might mean like he likes to be in the forest, but that's technically a bunch of trees. I like hiking, but instead of saying hiking, because it doesn't rhyme with macaroni and cheese, which was important to put in, it's a bunch of trees. Call you up, but what's the use? I like Kevin Bacon, but I hate Footloose. It's judgment, but at least he's honest. Came in the door. I said it before. He actually didn't say it before. Think I'm over you, but I'm really not sure. When I met you, I said my name is Rich. You look like a girl from Abercrombie & Fitch. I don't know what to say, Jayce. This is illogical and...
The song is making my ice cream poisoning flare
crazy. But it was a big hit. It was.
And I did
number 3.
I did a quick look up on this because I was like, this is ridiculous. There's got to be more to this. Like, did you realize that Rich Cronin, he's now the late Rich Cronin?
Oh, yeah. A couple of them died. Yes, that's true.
I don't know.
I didn't know if I wanted to talk about that because it was kind of sad. I think 2 of them died from cancer or leukemia or something. There's only, I think, 1 guy still out there.
Yeah. And it was... I guess they say it's actually a tribute to inside jokes from summers spent on Cape Cod. So this whole song is all inside jokes. None of us will ever get it.
There's a handful of people who are like, oh, yeah.
Totally
Larry
get it,
Bird.
bro.
I can't believe that. Remember? Willie Whistle. Totally.
Willie Whistle. That sounds like a New England thing. Like Willie Whistle. I mean,
I'm sure
I'm
there
from
are
the
people
Midwest, so...
Yeah, I'm sure there are people who get that, but I definitely don't. And bless them for getting to number 3. I mean, that song probably kept them in decent money for at least until, unfortunately they passed away. Okay. And then, I was thinking, like, are all of their songs weird like that? And they really are. Like, I looked at some of their other music, and other than the covers, I mean, they have songs that reference Scooby Snacks and other weird things. So
like other names of their songs were My Block, I Don't Want to Kiss You Goodnight, All I Need to Know, I Will Show You Mine, scary, Cross My Heart. Yeah, it looks, I'm looking at their album from 99, and it looks like typical taking a shot, like, let's try to be 98 Degrees. Let's try to be, I don't know, what was the Backstreet Boys, or
right,
the one that Justin Timberlake was from. Help me out here.
That was NSYNC.
NSYNC, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, you know what? You guys are kind of cute. You're good looking guys from the Northeast. I think we can squeeze a hit out of this. We'll take your inside jokes and let's make a mill.
What if we take all of your inside jokes and just list them?
Cram them into one song.
We'll just list them in no particular order and make sure that they rhyme, and that's all we're going to do, and that's a song. And it was successful. So good for them. I do want to point out, though, and this is like the next song will sort of speak to that. When I'm coming up with these, I'm not trying to hate on the songs. Like, just because not all the songs are songs that I particularly enjoy, they're catchy. And some of them are really good. Like the last time we did this, there were songs that were awesome songs.
Like Melissa Etheridge's Come to My Window.
Yeah.
Fantastic song.
Great song. Should I Stay or Should I Go? Amazing song.
Amazing song.
Love that.
I still don't know if they should or not, but it's not for me to decide, probably. I just wonder, though, Matt, when you bring up Summer Girls and they're singing about the girl from Abercrombie and Fitch, if the LFO ever had a showdown with the guys who sang J. Crew Girl.
Oh, man, that's a really good question.
It's probably the stuff of urban legend lore, and we'll never know, but I just wondered.
I would have paid money for that rumble. Okay, so the next song we're probably not going to talk as long about, because it's not...
Because we shouldn't have talked as long about the other ones.
It's not that crazy. It's just I'm seeking clarity, and this is a song that I love. It's from legendary David Bowie from 1983. It's Modern Love.
Oh, this is a great song.
I love this song. Friend. It's so good. And when you listen to the lyrics, it doesn't make any sense to me anyway, but it doesn't matter, because I'll still sing along the entire time and rock out and probably dance ridiculously for a 40-something-year-old man. But it's a great song. It only got to number 14, I think, in 1983. It was from the Let's Dance album. So it starts out, it's a spoken word part when the music hits, and the music hits like it's such a poppy, it's just a great song. And he starts out saying, I know when to go out. I know when to stay in and get things done. I don't have any frame of reference. None of us were questioning if he knew when to go out and when to stay in. It's possible in 83, there was a news article about him that said, you know what? David Bowie has no idea when to go out. He has no idea when to stay in, and he cannot get things done. And so he said, well, I'll show them. And he wrote this song. It's possible.
It's possible. So the lyrics are really weird for this, so keep going.
So then he starts out with the actual song. I catch the paper boy, but things don't really change. I'm standing in the wind, but I never wave bye-bye. But I try. There's no sign of life. It's just the power to charm. I don't get that. I'm lying in the rain. First I was standing in the wind, now I'm lying in the rain, but I still never wave bye-bye. But I try. So what does that mean? I catch the paper boy, but things don't really change.
I read the news, and it's the same every day.
So he's not physically chasing down the paper boy.
No, he's catching him like, hey, and like he's walking up the walks like, hey, paper boy. Hey, David Bowie. Thanks for the paper boy. No problem, David Bowie.
And then he looks at the
that's
paper.
How people addressed him. They addressed him by his full name all the time. If you knew him really well, you could call him Ziggy, but that was very
So then he catches the paper boy. Paper boy gives him the paper, takes a look down in the paper and says, you know what? Things don't really change.
Nope. Same shit, different day.
So now he's standing in the wind, but he doesn't wave bye-bye. I'll tell you why he doesn't, because if he waved bye-bye, his paper would blow away. He's got to keep both hands on the paper.
Maybe? Okay. We'll go with it.
So he
But
tries. There's no sign of life now. So that now he's trying to hold on to the paper in the wind. And apparently everyone else in the city has blown away in the wind and there's no sign of life.
I think he means there's no sign of life, as in I read the news all the time. It's the same every day. There's no life. It's just robots doing the same thing over and over again.
So what's the power to charm? It's just the power to charm.
Marketing.
Oh.
I have no idea, but that's my guess.
Not bad, Jayce. It's just the power to charm. So
because marketing doesn't really do anything, but it just makes you think you need / want to do something.
Because now he's lying in the rain. So he's just getting pelted. He's getting beaten down by the wind and the rain. But he doesn't give up. He's not waving bye-bye.
Nope.
But he tries to wave bye-bye.
And this is the part, isn't this the part where the music kicks in?
Never gonna fall for modern love.
Never gonna fall for modern love. Walks beside me. Modern love. Walks on by. Modern love. Gets me to the church on time. Church on time. Terrifies me. Church on time. Yeah. Makes me party. Church on time. Puts my trust in God and man. God and man. See, this is where the song gets catchy. I have no idea what it means, but it's fantastic, and I sing along in the car.
Exactly.
It usually a little more on tune than this, but
it doesn't make sense. So saying the first part is about media and the news and the state of the world. He's not falling for it. It beats him down, but he's not going to give up. So then why does he say he's never going to fall for modern love?
Because modern love is superficial these days. It's all about the marketing of it. It's all about the charm. It's not, there's no depth to it.
Why does it get him to the church on time?
Because he's searching through God to find not modern love. I was going for something profound, but I'm really reaching here.
I was with you. All right. So it terrifies him. It makes him party. Puts his trust in God and man. Whatever modern. So is modern love terrifying him, or is getting to the church on time terrifying him?
Yes.
Great. That clears it all up. So getting to the church on time makes him party. Sounds weird, but okay. And getting to church on time puts his trust in God and man. Well, that seems like a self-fulfilling prophecy. No confession, no religion. He doesn't believe in modern love. So all those things are getting him to the church on time, but he doesn't believe in it. He's just going through the motions. Is that what it's saying?
I feel like it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I love the song. But it's illogical.
So while we were talking about these lyrics, I went and did a quick Google search, because that's what you do in 2021 when you need to be told what something means. So I looked up what is the meaning of modern love.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this meaning is of modern love, the song, or just the two words modern love.
Sure.
But basically the synopsis that it throws up is the celebration of people's free will to unconditionally relish and delight in the things that define one's world. What? Well, that couldn't be any less helpful.
What?
It doesn't. I don't know. I'm looking for this.
Did David Bowie say that?
Everywhere. No, that was Mark Echo, I think.
Oh, wait. Mark Echo. That's a clothing guy.
Yeah, modern love.
I think he's done something else other than clothing.
My definition of modern love. Oh, this isn't about the great song. This is just about.
It's about his clothes.
Oh no, it is. Hold on. Did you ever hear the song "Modern Love" by David Bowie back in '83? I like how he says that back in '83. When we were all coming up, homie. I was in my pubescent prime.
All right.
And I vividly recall how that song formed my early notion of what love could be. Really, when I heard that it was never anything that I came across.
What is he hearing that I'm not?
That song, like Twain's quote above. What was Twain's quote above? History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. What? That's true. Twain, the proverbial master of maxims, is attributed in 1874 to have written that history never repeats itself, but the kaleidoscope combinations of the pictured present often seem to be constructed out of the broken fragments of antique legends. I don't know how that relates to this song at all. At all. Great song and sound, but even then at 11 years old, I recall thinking, that's depressing. I mean, is love, well, really that? Nah, yeah, whatever. So apparently it's cynical, which is kind of what I was saying. It's kind of a cynical look at it. Like, I don't believe in this modern love. It's superficial. There's nothing to it and all that. So I don't know. It's
kind of fun that there's such a negative downer topic that is in such a catchy, awesome song.
Yeah, and like it goes on. I'm not going to read the whole. You can find it's at medium.com. Mark Echo does a whole thing about the song Modern Love. Okay. But it mentions the free love movement, and I'm going to make an assumption here that, free love equals modern love. Therefore, things that are free aren't really worth it. Because he even goes on to the point of saying it's just going to get you to hurry up to the altar, get you to the church on time, to get married, off to live, and obsolete, leave it to beaver life. Modern love. That was kind of the angle I was going, but I didn't quite have that go that far with it.
Go Mark Echo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy one of your sweatshirts.
Do they still sell his sweatshirts? Weren't they
I'm
sold next to FUBU?
I'm going to pick up one of your sweatshirts at the Salvation Army.
So hold on. He goes on to say, Dictionary of blah, 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 blah. Modern love is the world to you. For me, it's my wife and kids and all my time with them. It's my ability to have the free will to create the things that shape a world for me and my family. Take these things away from me, and you take away my entire world. You take away my ability to love. Nothing else on the planet matters without my ability to love what I choose to.
I think that's the exact opposite of what David Bowie was saying. Because then why would he say, I don't believe in modern love? If it's like everything, what kind of a message is he sending?
I don't know. Go read the article. I'm not going to read the whole damn thing.
I'll have to tweet a link to that article so that people listening to the podcast will be able to follow up and get the information that we don't have.
Yeah.
So I have a couple more. How many do you want?
Hit me up with the next one. Are any of these songs, before you go on, are any of these songs Come Together by the Beatles?
Okay, so that's a really good point. And I thought we would eventually get to this. My idea, when I come up with these songs, or when songs bother me, I am able to mentally weed out the songs that are intentionally crazy. When they intentionally are just, I don't know, I guess you could call it poetic, not license, but when you say like, custard dripping from a dead dog's eye, you're trying to mess with people. And I think that there are articles where John Lennon has said, I wrote that song with the intention of just messing with people.
Like Maxwell's Silver Hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are a lot of Beatles songs. And so like, don't get me started. I love R.E.M., but some of R.E.M.'s lyrics I have struggled with. But he has said that Michael Stipe has said that some of the songs, especially earlier songs, he was just trying to find words to fit and also trying to create concepts instead of narrative. So if it's a song that is poetic and is weird, or if it's a song that is intentionally crazy, I for some reason I'm able to just be okay with those. I don't know. So it's a slippery slope.
So I brought up Maxwell's Silver Hammer, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
it's about a real person.
Yeah, it's about a murder.
Mm-hmm.
A student named Maxwell Edison who murders with a hammer.
Yeah.
It's dark lyrics to an upbeat sound. Here I thought I was being, funny and pointing out something silly that the Beatles did, but I was wrong.
Right. Yeah. That makes you hear the song in a completely different way, but
yeah. Now I'm remembering the lyrics going, oh, Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. It's a little darker than I thought it was.
So I have 4 more. But 1 is going to take a long time and 2 are super quick.
All right, let's go with the super quick ones and see where we end up.
All right, so let's see. You're going to definitely know this one. So this is another good song, 1986. Comes from an album called The Final Countdown by a band called Europe. It was number 8 in 1986. It's called The Final Countdown.
Oh, there's some stories about this one.
Are there stories? Are you going to be able to reveal what it's about? Because when I listen to this song, I laugh out loud most times. Now that I've actually listened to the lyrics, if you take it at face value, it's a solid, epic song. It's used in all sporting events. It's used in so much pop culture. But if you actually listen to the lyrics, some of it kind of falls apart. So
okay, go for it. And
so it starts out, we're leaving together, but still it's farewell. Okay. Not farewell to each other because you're leaving together. And maybe we'll come back to Earth. Who can tell? So I'm picturing that this is like a exodus, a mass exodus. Maybe it's the year 95. And God has said, all right, everybody out. I'm cleaning the pool.
That's one way to look at it.
So he says, I guess there's no one to blame. We're leaving ground. Leaving ground. So there's everyone to blame in that situation. I feel like Mission Control would be to blame for leaving ground. The planning committee.
Major Tom's fault.
Major Tom. Will things ever be the same again? It's the final countdown. So doo-doo-doo-doo. Great song. I love the song, but I'm not quite sure what's happening. So far, what do you think's happening?
I think what's happening, and is it's an ode to global warming. We're leaving together. Still, it's farewell. So they're saying goodbye to Earth.
Goodbye to Earth.
And maybe we'll come back, but and I guess there's no one to blame. All of those type of things. Even if we come back, things will never be the same again. Dun, 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 dun. It's the final countdown.
You can't really say, and some of these lyrics, you can't really say them without singing them.
No, without singing the beat or something.
Yeah. So, okay. I'll buy that they're leaving Earth. There is someone obviously to blame. I think it's a little short-sighted to say we're going to be fine anywhere else. We'll just keep doing the same things we're doing here on a different planet. There's no one to blame. There's no one's fault that the Earth is about to crumble into dust. It could happen anywhere. That's what we're looking at so far?
Yeah.
All right. So the next verse, we're heading for Venus. And still we stand tall. Why Venus? I'll tell you why Venus, because the next line is because maybe they've seen us. What does that mean? And why didn't they rhyme something with penis?
Oh.
Because that's what I always think when I hear that line.
Well, they didn't know that space and leaving Earth and a penis would be such a big thing in 2021.
I know. Exactly.
They had no
Venus,
idea what
still we
Jeff
stand
Bezos
tall.
was up to.
We're headed for Venus and still we stand tall. Our ship looks like a penis. That would be perfect right now.
Maybe they'll welcome us all. So I went and looked up because you asked me what I thought of these lyrics, and I think it's global. What I said, I went out and Googled it, and I looked up the final countdown meaning. What do people think it means?
Yeah.
Some people say that it's about, maybe they've seen us and welcome us all, underscores the point that maybe another species already knows of us and are waiting for humans to take the next jump, being amount of the amount of time before we leave the solar system. Another person is even closer to what I said. This was it was since the 80s, so it's about nuclear war. but more specifically, it's about humanity leaving the planet in a spaceship because, well, nuclear war.
Nobody's fault, though. No one to blame.
No. And I think it's great. There's like there's a tie-in through all of this stuff we've done today, and we didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking up, and it's on one of those like a Reddit board, Quora board, those type of things.
Yeah.
And there's a big picture of Wall-E.
Oh my God, that's true. This episode brought to you by Pixar's Wall-E. Check it out on whatever streams through your brain right now.
Because, they're saying, there's like all of these other songs that are kind of in the same vein of this, like Two Tribes by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Glad It's Over by Captain Sensible, Atomic Blonde, Enola Gay by OMD, Hammer.
I love that song, Queen. Enola Gay. That's a great tune.
So they're all kind of like on the same idea of nuclear war. We're going to have to leave because it was the 80s, and that's what everybody thought was going to destroy the planet. I'm still not convinced it won't be the thing.
Right.
But
so, okay, in 1986, I was 9. I can't remember. Did we think that Venus had a population of alien life? Like, do we think that now?
There's been speculation out there, and there's been a lot of science fiction written about people going to Venus. I can't remember off the top of my head why right now, but it has something to do with the cloud cover atmosphere, even though it's like 1,000 degrees.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, we know that we can't survive on Venus. Like, what would make us choose that other than that it rhymes with Venus? I don't know why that would be the planet we would say, let's shoot for this. No water, hot enough to boil our skin as soon as we walk out. I mean, why Venus? How many light years is it away?
Mars
is it just
Jupiter?
because it's kind of close and yet still inhospitable? There's no logic to it. We're headed for Venus,
We're gonna have to edit this
and still we
out.
stand tall. Is that a reference to like gravity? Would we be crunched down because of gravity? Because maybe they've seen us and welcome us all. The Venusians. It doesn't make sense, Jayce. I don't get it. See, this is the thing. This song is so good. I would have loved if they just didn't have a verse and it was just chorus. I would be loving the song. But they went ahead and wrote lyrics that are making us think we've decided to leave the planet, put everyone on board. We'll miss the Earth, but we'll be good because we're going to Venus. And everything will be okay there. The aliens will welcome us all, teach us how to breathe where we can't breathe, and teach us how to not burst into flame. And we'll miss the Earth, but we're going to be good because there's no one to blame for what we did on Earth, and we won't repeat the same mistakes. It'll all be fine. That's what the message is.
Yeah. And there was I was reading a little bit more. There's somebody who was saying that according to SongFact, which is apparently a website out there in the intertubes, webs, whatever it is, the song lyrics are inspired by David Bowie's Space Oddity, which is a unintended tie that binds, even when we mentioned maybe it's Major Tom's fault.
Yeah. How are we doing this unintentionally?
Yeah, and
linked.
I guess when Europe's lead singer Joey Tempest was asked about this, he explained, I had the demo without vocals, and I was singing it over and over again. The music was almost like a soundtrack to a movie about leaving Earth, and that the Earth was spent, and one day we'll probably have to leave this place. It was kind of a dreamlike lyric, but that was the backdrop for it. So,
all right.
Yeah, so, it kind of fits all of the different things that I've read. They're all kind of along the same idea of we screwed the Earth up and we're out.
Gotcha.
Or something's going to hit the Earth and we're out. Or a nuclear bomb's going to destroy the Earth and we're out.
So yet another song that the concept has a logical thread, but the actual lyrics are really weird and don't make sense.
There's nothing funny or no jokes I can make about the Earth being destroyed and us having to leave. It's a very serious subject.
What year do you think that they took off for Venus in their ship shaped like a penis?
I think they left already. I think this is what we're left with.
I feel like it happened in the year 35.
Yeah.
If woman can survive.
Yeah. Or in the year 2000. Oh, it's one of my favorite Conan skits of all time.
It was a good one. All right, I have one more quick one that we can breeze
hold on.
through. And
Before
then I have
we
a
move
really
on,
long one. Yeah, go ahead.
Two quick stories about the final countdown.
Okay.
My ex-brother-in-law
Yeah.
had a great idea for before vinyl records were even cool again, and before everybody was collecting again. This early 2000s, easy, when vinyl was still a very kind of underground thing or a very niche thing to collect.
Okay.
His idea was having a record store called the Vinyl Countdown, which probably exists somewhere. And then
I love that.
Every time you open the door, it would go do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. And in my head, I was like, that sounds like a great idea. But after about 4 hours of that, you're going to shoot somebody who comes through that door. Second thing about that song, I don't remember the year, but we all remember MTV, that used to play music and all of that stuff. Apparently, I didn't see this. I just remember reading about it. Europe played a live concert. And it was kind of in the waning days of Europe and their little bit of popularity that they had.
Mm-hmm.
They opened and closed their set with the final countdown.
Oh, come on.
In case you missed it the first time, folks, we're going to play it one more time for you.
And how many songs in between? Like 3?
Their other hit was the ballad Carrie. You probably remember that one if you heard it. Mm-hmm. And then they had, is it called Cherokee? I think was the name of their other hit song off of that. And other than that, I don't know if they ever had another hit in the States.
So it was Final Countdown, Carrie, Cherokee, Final Countdown.
Yeah, that was probably their entire
Thank
set.
you, New York. We love you.
They probably did a cover of Long Tall Sally in there just to give themselves a little bit of cred.
Yeah, space out the bookends of Final Countdown.
And then just pretend like they never played it the first time and close.
Well, sometimes people show up to the concert late, and miss the first song. So you want to give the people what they want. Or
in the case of Europe, they didn't show up at all.
So this one we'll go through quickly. It's from 1971. It was a #1 Billboard hit from a band called America. It's A Horse with No Name. I want to point out before we start talking about it that several times the band has insisted that it is not about heroin. I know heroin was called Horse. They insist that people always say drugs were suggested as an excuse for the weird lyrics, but they did not indulge in heroin. According to the songwriter and the members of the band, they said that it's not our bag, baby. So, lyrics start out in the first part of the journey. I was looking at all the life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. So where are we now? What's happening? Plants, birds, rocks, things, sand, hills, and rings. Could be anywhere. Do you think that those are like rings, like crop circles, maybe?
I'm looking up the lyrics right now so I can keep up with you on this song. That
I feel like they're describing anything outside.
Yeah.
They were outdoors. Basically, on the first part of the journey, we stepped out into our yard. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. The first thing I met was a fly. The first thing I met was a fly with a buzz. And the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot, and the ground was dry, also probably dirty, but the air was full of sound. Now, this does kind of get into poetic license, I think. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have a logical thread, but I think that they're trying to set a scene of some sort of desert void of any life except for a fly. Is that fair? The heat was hot. I think they wanted to make sure to point out the heat was hot.
They're trying to set the stage that we are in the desert and there's nothing here.
And the heat was hot.
And it was hot and there's just these flies. And did I mention we're in the desert?
Yeah. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. That seems reasonable, but you're in the desert. You can remember your name because there ain't no one for to give you no pain.
La 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 la.
La 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 la. Yeah, so that's what we're dealing with. I get that he was in the desert on a horse or with a horse. I think he does say on. Yeah, been through the desert on a horse with no name. If you're there with the horse, give it a name. Like, call it a horse or something. If you're out there by yourself, I say give the horse a name. Just, I don't know. But I think what this is trying to say is that when you're out there in the middle of nowhere dealing with nothing, you can think about things like remembering your own name because nobody's bugging you.
Yeah, it's one of those solemn trips where I don't have any noise, so I can think about me. I can remember my name. I can remember why. I know.
Can't remember if the horse has a name.
I remember now.
I remember my name because there ain't no one for to give me no pain. So then it goes on. After 2 days in the desert sun, my skin began to turn red. Well, he's obviously doesn't have Irish skin like me because I would be burnt to a crisp after 1 day in the desert sun. After 3 days in the desert fun, I was looking at a riverbed, and the story it told of a river that flowed made me sad to think it was dead. Okay, now we're getting back to saving the earth, I think. The earth
I think he's hallucinating now, because this isn't about drugs.
So after 3 days in the desert fun, he's looking at a dry riverbed.
I feel like if you're out in the desert like that, now I don't know, I'm not an outdoorsman like this.
Yeah.
But if you're out there and just the sun beating down on you and everything, I feel like hallucinations start to happen at some point.
Sure. That's fair. Okay. I'm good with that. I think that it's setting a scene, not super logical, but it's setting a scene that he's out in the desert making some sort of journey. It's taking a few days. He's on a horse. He sees a lot of dry dirt. Dirty ground. Heat was hot. We're dry. We're going through the desert. So
I'm on a horse.
Cars
are invented, but here I am on a horse.
After 9 days. All right. So here's where is he that he's on a horse for 9 days and hasn't seen anything? Is this somewhere in America? I mean, the band's called America, but I'm wondering where he's traveling and if he should probably seek some help. But he says, after 9 days, I let the horse run free. After 9 days, I would have eaten the horse, I think. Right? Why would you just set it free?
We're assuming he doesn't have any food. Maybe he had food on the pack or something. I don't know.
So he sets the horse free. He sets his pack free. Are you telling me he says, horse, you go on ahead. I'm going to carry this pack. Yeah. You've done your job. I only contracted you for 9 days.
Well, keep reading the lyrics because it may make sense.
Because the desert had turned to sea. Well, then the horse couldn't swim.
He got from the desert to the sea.
There were more plants and birds and rocks and things. There were, again, sand and hills and rings.
I don't know what these rings are, but whatever.
What are these rings? Is it just because it rhymes with things? I would say rocks and things is a weak lyric. Don't try to rhyme things with rings. Just replace things.
There are rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. It must be something like if you're out there. I don't know, tree rings, Sonic the Hedgehog rings you have to collect. I don't know what these stoned rock stars are doing. Some of this I think would fit in High Drunk or Genius. All of them would be high.
Exactly. So the ocean is a desert with its life underground. That makes sense. I get that poetic reference. And a perfect disguise above. I'm good with that. Under the cities lies a heart made of ground, but the humans will give no love. So this is saving the ocean, right?
Yeah. So when was this? Okay, hold on. This was 71.
71.
The other song we were talking about was from 69. So the same time period. Mm-hmm. They're talking about similar things. And wasn't David Bowie's was in the 80s. So
yeah, it was 83 or something.
But yeah, this was released in 72 actually, which was kind of right at the tail end of the whole. That would have been right before the big arena rock time, 70s, mid 70s. when, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like this is the end of that whole hippie, touchy-feely love type songs where we sing about the earth and we sing about this and we sing about that. This would have been right about the time when that was all ending.
Yeah.
And we were moving on more towards what's still all over classic rock stations that we listen to now, that whole 70s arena rock style music.
Right. Yeah.
Even though Led Zeppelin and stuff was out at this point in time, they were just like Kiss was getting their start right now. This was all coming off and that other stuff was starting to come up.
It's always weird to me when anyone references like what artists were out at the same time that can sound completely different. I just find that really bizarro. But
yeah. Now Kiss wasn't like doing their albums yet, but they were just getting started. They might have been called Wicked Lester at the time, but this is not a Kiss podcast.
Welcome to Kiss Podcast, brought to you by Wall-E by Pixar.
Welcome, brought to you by a horse with no name. So, but this would have been that time when things like that were ending, because what was the Summer of Love was 69. Was that when Altamont happened? And that signified the end of the Summer of Love, or the Love Generation, or whatever.
Yeah.
I am really blurry on all this. Usually I'm very good at this stuff, but tonight, for whatever reason, I'm not connecting the dots. But I think you know what I mean, where this was all kind of tailing off.
All right. I'm okay with that. Again, I think we have a song that may have good intentions, but has a weird way of putting those intentions into words that make sense. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the next one, the last song I have to wrap up this episode, is a big hit. It was nominated for both Song and Record of the Year from 1999 from their Millennium album. It's the Backstreet Boys.
We had LFO from 1999 and now the Backstreet Boys.
I Want It That Way.
Oh, there's some great covers of this song out there. Matter of fact, the cover that Steel Panther does of this one, I think. Yeah. Really? God, I hope I got the right one. I'm all excited about something that might not even exist. Hold on. Anyways, continue, Matthew. Continue.
Okay. So I have always had a problem with this song, and I'm not a huge Backstreet Boys fan to begin with, but
don't lie, you are.
The whole message. This is like, as we discuss this is going to be the opposite of what we have been previously talking about, where a song has a good message but puts it together in a weird way. This is a song that has a really good package. That's what she said. But the message is, you can't make sense of the message. I defy you to describe what they're trying to say. Let's just get started with the lyrics and you tell me what's going on. So starts out, "You Are My Fire."
Oh, hold on a second. I was right. Steel Panther does do a cover of it. It's excellent. Fantastic.
I'm going to have to listen to that one.
Back to what you were saying. Sorry.
So you are my fire, Jayce, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. So far, so good. I like that. It's a love song. You're my one desire. I want it. I want it that way. Believe me when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way.
Is this their Uptown Girl?
What? I don't know, but okay.
Are the Backstreet Boys the mechanics and the coveralls? And
no,
Christy
listen
Brinkley
to what
is the girl that they want it that way.
You're giving them way too much credit.
Oh, am I giving? Okay.
Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. So are they saying in this moment, when you say that meaning Backstreet Boy, wants it that way, or are you saying that you, meaning the girl, wants it that way? Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. I don't know. What do you think?
Tell me why.
Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never want to hear you say I want it that way. But you just said it 2 lines ago that you do want it that way. Why would he never want to hear her say that he wants it that way? Are we talking about the same way? And what is it that they want that way? Why would he say, believe me when I say I want it that way, but I never want to hear you say I want it that way? Are we talking about some very specific act that's a little racy? Like, I'm into this for me, but I don't want you to be into it for you.
So they're selfish.
I don't know. So then the next line says, am I your fire? Your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late. I only wish that it was too late, but he's going to keep singing. But I want it that way. Okay. So we've got a guy who wants it that way. He's telling his girl, believe me, I want it that way. But don't get it twisted. I don't ever want to hear you say that I want it that way. What the hell is going on?
So I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
I feel like I'm saying that a lot during
It's contradicting the very premise by saying, listen, I want it that way, but you better never say you want it that way.
Should he stay or should he go? I don't know. If he goes, there will be trouble. I don't want to hear you say you want it that way.
Listen, we've figured out that song. This one is a world apart, to quote them. So now I can see that we've fallen apart from the way that it used to be. Poorly worded, but I kind of get the idea. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are my fire, the one desire. You are. Don't want to hear you say ain't nothing but a heartache, ain't nothing but a mistake. Don't want to hear you say, I never want to hear you say, I want it that way. What are they talking about?
I think what he's getting at is...
Yeah, good luck.
Here we go. Stay with me. I think what he's saying is it's okay that he wants to do the things that he wants to do. Like, our relationship can be this way.
Yeah.
Because that's the way I want it. But it's not like you can't. I don't want to hear you say it, because if I hear you say that's how you want the relationship to be, that way it points out all of the things that I want are crap.
What?
See, that makes about as much sense of the song now, doesn't it? So I have no idea what I just said.
I've thought about this for I've burned way too many resources thinking about this. So
I have too, and it's only been 10 minutes.
I have a couple thoughts.
Okay,
my first thought was maybe he was saying, okay, so what kind of things could you be selfish and want one way, but you don't want the other person? What if they were in a situation where he wanted to have have other girls on the side?
That's exactly where I was going. I was just about to say that.
So he wants it that way, but he never wants to hear her say that she wants it that way too. However, he says at the beginning, you are my fire, the one desire. I don't desire anything else. So he's putting a cap in that one right away by saying, I don't have any other desire except for you. So it can't be that he wants it that way. It can't mean multiple lovers, because he only has the one desire, and it's her.
But since he's on the road, well,
unless he's saying, I want you to have multiple lovers, I don't ever want to hear you say that you only want to be with me just because I only want to be with you. That's a really weird thing.
So he's freaky. Got it.
But it's possible. It's the only way that it grammatically, I guess, for lack of a better word, makes sense, is if he's saying, you're into some freaky deaky and I'm not, but I don't ever want to hear you say that you are going to be exclusive with me because you got to get your swerve on. It doesn't make sense.
So I like all the other ones, I went and looked up, I Googled, what the hell does this even mean? Now, I made the mistake of clicking on the article, so now I've got to search through like thousands of words to get to where the tagline was that I thought was hilarious.
Okay. I hope what you saw was what they were quoted in 2018 about the song, because
I think I'm going to get to that part next.
Yeah.
I Want It That Way's lyrics are an enigma wrapped in a riddle tied up in a pencil-thin beard. Mainly the meaning of that is at issue. So you're saying you want me to continue being your fire and one desire.
Yeah.
But the other part is I saw they finally reveal what the thing was. At last, the boys have revealed what the song was all about.
Yeah.
So I gotta go through this because I haven't read this one. So this is where the time machine part happens, where we wait for a minute while I read this.
Well, I just have to, and maybe I'll be saying the same thing that you're looking at, but in 2018, they specifically addressed it, and they said, "We don't want you to want it that way. That's the way we want it. For you to not want it that way," which is clear as mud. We don't want you to want it that way. That's the way we want it. For you to not want it that way. We want you to want me.
I want you to want me.
Exactly. That's what I was shooting for.
I read
don't even know.
This article makes absolutely no sense. I can't even quote it.
So this is the part that I think is amazing, is that there is the rest of the story is there is an alternate version of this song.
I did see that. I'm trying to find out what that alternate version is.
I've got it. So you don't have to look it up. I've got it for you, because apparently there was some controversy about everyone saying, well, this doesn't make any sense. And so they said, well, what if we wrote lyrics that actually make sense, and we'll release that and see what people think. The lyrics for the logical version: I'm yours completely. I feel so deeply. You're my first thought every day, and I want it that way. My life is for you, and I adore you. I love you more every day, and I want it that way. No goodbyes ain't nothing but a heartache. No more lies ain't nothing but a mistake. That is why I love it when I hear you say, I want it that way.
Totally makes sense.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense. My heart is on fire, such a strong desire. Yes, I know it's too late. That part's a little weird, but I want it that way. So, okay, now you have a song. I gave you my heart, baby, right from the start, and that's the way it will always be. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are my fire, the one desire. So, okay, that's a song that has logic. It flows. It has a follow through. It has a narrative. It makes sense. So guess what? People didn't like that version. People preferred the nonsensical version over that version, and so that one became the nonsense one became their big hit, and this one is just like it's a story. It just becomes part of the story of that song, but it was not nearly as popular as the one that doesn't make any kind of sense.
Yeah, there was, in one of the articles I read too, there was an allusion to the nonsensical version being them essentially kind of going against the record label, saying, we want to do it this way, but we don't ever want to hear you tell us how to do it this way. We're powerful enough that it's all our ideas now.
So they're saying we want it this way, but we don't want you. Then shouldn't it be, I want it this way?
It could be.
That changes everything. Believe me when I say that I want it this way, but I don't ever want to hear you say that I want it that way. Now you have two opposing ways. This way, that way. But when you word it always as that way, you don't make any sense.
I like what this author wrote. There's two paragraphs here. First of all, the song makes no sense. McLean answers. That's AJ McLean. He's one of the people in Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
There was a completely different version, as we've pointed out, of the song that actually made sense. And thankfully, we decided to go back to the one that didn't make sense. Adding, I don't think it would have been as big of a hit if it would have made sense. And the author says, he's totally right, too. The song is so memorable because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Another example of this theory is the girl group Spice Girls and their zigga zigga line from their song Wannabe. But let's be totally honest here. None of the Backstreet Boys songs make sense, but I definitely want it that way.
I don't know that I can't with confidence say that I want it that way, because that would mean I know what that way is.
I can say with confidence, I like the Steel Panther version of it much better than the original, whether it makes sense or not.
Let me say something. You know what? I can't even say it. I'll tell you after the show. I have another theory, but I can't talk about it on the podcast.
Does it involve people we know, government agents?
No, it involves
a dog.
It involves a very specific act that I could see them wanting it that way, but not wanting you.
Root, stop talking.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not going any deeper. Pun intended to that.
Anyways.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we learned a lot today.
I hope so. Out of all of those songs, I will give these. I will give my 2 cents here. And Matt, you know I love you, man.
Yep.
But our first episode of songs that with lyrics that make sense, I feel like we had some good songs in this one.
Yes.
And the lyrics you picked definitely don't make any damn sense. I can't make heads or tails of them. But in the first episode, we had The Clash, Melissa Etheridge.
Right.
I'll even go as far as to say Vanilla Ice.
Yes.
Which, led to an iconic moment for us that is in our promo.
Yep.
That I still get comments that people I know, they're like, I laugh every time I hear that because hearing you sing that.
I do too.
As one of my friends said, might be the whitest thing I've ever heard in my life. Which if you see me, makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
This one definitely had songs I don't like.
Yeah. They're all classics though. I mean, they're not classics, but they're all. I
was like, all right, hold on, buddy.
They're all big. Like, I don't think that it would be.
They all sold a lot of singles.
Yes.
We'll go with that.
They had their moment in the sun, and I feel like there just wasn't enough sun shined on this specific lyrics. And so that's what makes it interesting to me, is that we can hear songs and just be like, yeah, that's a nice little bebopper. And then when we actually think about it, we're like, well, what the hell were they thinking?
Well, and with what I said, I said that there's a lot of these songs that I don't like, but I can honestly say too that if I Want It That Way comes on the radio, I can sing along to it. If that stupid LFO song came on, I knew the lyrics before you even started reciting them. I mean, where am I to sit and bitch about anything when I can recite the LFO lyrics?
You knew it.
Right?
Exactly.
And the David Bowie song, I mean, it's a great song.
It's a beautiful song.
The other Zapp and Rogers, or whoever you put first. Hinkles and McCoy. I don't know who are these people.
I love Zapp and Roger.
Yeah, they are an actual group. They do I think it's funk they were part of. Or
I Want to Be Your Man. It was a good one.
Oh, okay.
I want to be your man.
Yeah, but I mean, what were their names?
Zager and Evans.
Zager and Evans. I was like, I kept wanting to say Faith Evans, but I'm like, no, that was not a totally different person.
The only artist to have a #1 hit in the UK and the US and then never chart again. That's something.
It is. You almost have to, I don't know. That whole song, it's just,
and they're still alive is the thing. Like if they released that song and then were in a plane crash, then it would make sense. But they went on to make more music.
Like that song was so weird. I had a hard time even being a smartass about it.
Yeah.
It was just so weird.
After the show, you have to listen to it and you'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to listen to it and go, oh yeah. Oh. Well, so now that we've played These Are Weird Lyrics game, and I will definitely give you credit. Yeah. None of those lyrics made sense.
Yeah.
Except for Larry Bird did wear 33.
He did. It's undeniable.
And Billy Shakespeare did write sonnets. And there were definite facts in that song. I'll give him credit on that one.
It was that song, Summer Girls, is almost educational.
Well, and when you read the idea behind it, like it was a bunch of inside jokes, totally makes sense because it makes no sense to anybody who wasn't there for the inside jokes.
Right. Yes.
Still Agreed. Not a good song. Still not a good song.
No.
Catchy, not a good song.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Well, I was on vacation. I saw you while I was on vacation in random parts of the United States.
Yeah, you were in random parts of the United States, and I was in the same random parts. That was cool. I know,
how weird, right?
That was cool. It was nice to see your flock of seagulls.
My flock. Oh, thank you. That was good. Amy did tell me, she said, that, well, she didn't tell me this part. I just want to say the vacation went off without a hitch. It was uneventful and fun, which is exactly how you want a family vacation to be,
goodness.
Especially when you have, we had 7 people.
7.
5 kids and me and Amy.
2 vehicles.
2 vehicles ranging from the ages of 20 to 12.
So much could have gone wrong.
Yeah, and it didn't. It didn't go wrong.
That's amazing.
It's a feat.
Yeah.
It's a feat not had by many families ever.
Right.
And we got to, Amy was like, I'm so happy to be able to put a face to a name now.
Yeah.
That was the first time she met you. Because when you came by, as we were talking in the interview we just did, we were talking about how we went up to Radio X and did the reunion show, me, you, and Jeff.
Yep.
She wasn't here when you picked me up.
Exactly.
Just Kylie was.
Yeah.
And Kylie's like, yeah, I got a quick look of him, and I maybe I can remember what he looks like. But now Amy's like, I'm glad, I got to meet Matt and his wife, and his kid, and oh boy, that one little boy they have, he is just cute, but man, are they in trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, folks, man, are they in trouble.
No, we had good fun. I'm glad that you guys had a good time, because that is not a trip to take lightly, for sure. So
no, the drive was great. I mean, we hit the turnpikes, and it was a nice, easy sail. I mean, little traffic here and there, but nothing. There were a couple moments that Amy was driving the second car, and it was usually me in the lead and her behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember looking in the rearview mirror a couple times, and there were just semis right up her tailpipe. And it was like, I don't want to go faster. I'm already flying on the turnpike.
Right.
These semis are doing like light speed. I don't know.
So,
but we survived, and it was all good. It was nice to see you and visit with you. One of these days, maybe we'll get to do it where it's just us 4 adults, and we can, really kick back and, tell as many dick and fart jokes as we want without our kids catching on.
Exactly. Yes. One day we will, for sure. So, so this week I watched a movie that you should check out.
I was reading about this. I think I saw you tweet about it.
The Vast of Night.
Yes, The Vast of Night. I couldn't remember the title, but I remember you had a little ongoing conversation about it.
It's on Amazon, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to tell you everything about it. But it takes place in the 50s, and it's sort of pseudo radio related, because there's a radio DJ who's one of the main characters, and a switchboard operator who's the other main character, and they hear this weird noise that bleeds through this guy's radio show while he's doing his radio show, and it's just so well made. And I know I keep saying that, but it's so well made, and that's what I said on Twitter too. And the direction it goes is unique, even though it's kind of obvious, but it's unique at the same time. And they don't do things the way you'd expect them to do things. And that to me is a good movie, when it's not like, well, I know exactly what's going to happen. You kind of have an idea, but it's also not one of those tropes where you're waiting for the big twist. It's not like that, because nowadays, all through the late 90s, that's what all movies were about, and in the early 2000s. And so that even becomes predictable, because you're like, okay, well, now it's going to end up being that everyone's made of peanut butter, and we just should have.
It's the third act. What's the twist?
Yeah, so it wasn't like that either, but it was a really good movie, and the way it was shot was really cool. A lot of really long tracking shots, like the camera was on the same people walking for like 20 minutes. I mean, it was really cool the way it was made. So I think you should check that out, because it's science fiction without being super science fiction-y.
It sounds like something that would be right up my alley.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
There's so many. Amy and I always joke about this. There's so many shows and movies out there that everybody's like, "Oh, you really need to check this out," and we never do. We're just like we'll lay down and we turn on reruns of whatever show we've saw 1,000 times, because it's like a nice warm blanket, and we fall asleep.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I have trouble with that. Luckily, it's usually because the kids get to pick the movie, and so then that's just my nap time, because I can't really stay awake. I sit starting to watch a movie, and I'm like, "Yep, here I go," and then
you can only see those shows so many times, and you're just like, out.
Yeah, exactly. So what have you been listening to anything or watching anything?
I have been watching something. Listening, I can go really quickly what I've been listening to. Classic rock, and a lot of it. Because on our trips, to random parts of the United States to visit you, to run into you, I should say, wasn't planned, right?
Right, randomly.
And I let my 13-year-old son essentially run the radio.
Yes.
While we were going. So we ended up listening to, because he's very into classic rock. And when I say classic rock, like he's 13. So you would assume classic rock for him would be 90s.
Right. Foo Fighters.
No, it's classic. And he does listen to like the Foo Fighters and the Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
But he listens to like Led Zeppelin,
nice,
Pink Floyd. Like he can go through and name the albums, the songs.
That's cool.
Like it just floors me because that was classic rock to me, and I'm his dad.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And so I think I heard the one specific song that sticks out that I heard the most was "Don't Fear the Reaper." I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure it got played at least 4 times. It was like on all these different playlists. But yeah, I listened to tons and tons of classic rock, and it was kind of fun though because my son was really into it. So it was like, Dad, you know this one? And then it was kind of like this contest back and forth, like,
oh, cool,
who could name when the album was,
very cool,
what song this was on. And we ended up actually listening to, and I says, well, Bud, if you like this, I was like, you might like Playlist Wars. I'm trying to get him in the podcast because he's really hasn't gotten into it yet.
Yeah.
But he kind of dug Playlist Wars because they were talking about different songs, and I could see him, and he added a few of those songs to his playlist. So that was kind of a cool, it was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
But what I've been watching is, come on, man, the Olympics. I know you were making fun of me online for it.
Womp,
but the Olympics, those people are so impressive. Everybody, or I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people go swimming, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But you watch those people like swim.
Right.
Like it's a job.
Power swimming.
And it's amazing what they could do in gymnastics and how they could just flip all over, like whatever. They're just like, it's not a thing.
I did watch the beginning of the opening ceremony with Gene Simmons in his samurai makeup. I saw him.
Not actually cool. Gene Simmons, but okay.
You're telling me, wait a minute, there was a time when they were samurais. Right?
Well, they got the whole makeup thing. It was all that kabuki stuff. So yeah, it's kind of that way.
It was totally Gene Simmons.
And so we've been watching the Olympics. That's pretty much what's been on in our house since the opening ceremonies. Yeah. And just so everybody's clear, Matt, did you see me wearing a KISS shirt out in public? You
did indeed. Yes,
I did.
You were wearing a KISS shirt, and you got several compliments.
Yes, and I want everybody to know that out of all of the people that we were there with, we'll say my 7 plus you and your family, I got the most compliments on my clothes.
Yes,
where we were at.
That's true.
And I'm not even
story.
Clearly not even the hottest person in this group, but I got the most comments. And I had, a 20-year-old and a 19-year-old girl, or 20 and an 18-year-old girl with me. I still got more comments. So
the KISS Army is strong and mighty and vast
and aging. And dare I say, a little bit dorky.
Yeah, a little bit, but still, it's cool.
I just like that meme that I showed you guys about the KISS is just boomer Juggalo fans. Boomer Juggalos.
Exactly.
And I was like, I would be mad if it wasn't kind of true.
I mean, their music is a lot better. No offense to Insane Clown Posse. Some offense.
Come on, the Great Malenko. Come on. It's good stuff, man.
Who's going chicken hunting? We's going
chicken hunting. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much what I've been watching and listening to, minus the ICP stuff.
Oh, good times. All right, so that is our show. Thank you all for tuning in to the second edition of Songs That Don't Make Any Sense. Coming up, we do have another interview that we're excited about, right? That's still happening?
Super excited about.
Super excited.
It's going to be a mystery just in case on the off chance it falls through, but it shouldn't this time.
It's going to definitely happen. I can feel it in my bone marrow. So that's coming up. And if you like what you hear, feel free to give us a review. We are fans of Podchaser and Good Pods because they let you leave reviews. Also, the one with the fruit, it lets you leave reviews.
Yep.
So please leave us a review, a 5-star review. Even if you think we're horrible, then just say you're horrible, 5 stars.
You can say these guys are a bag of dicks, 5 stars.
I don't know why I find that so funny. But if you do think we're a bag of dicks, 5-star review would be great. Let's see.
And remember, as we wrap this up, I want everybody to take ice cream poisoning seriously.
Yeah.
It's a thing that happens to 1 out of every 20 to 30,000 people.
Give what you can.
Give what you can.
And more, and a little more. They're people in need. So if you want to say hi to us on Twitter, we're always around the Twitter. Yep. And on the Insta.
Yep,
and
we have
not
Instagram.
On the TikTok.
Nope, not on the TikTok. I got no cool dances. At least none that you're going to see.
All right, so as always, I am Matt.
And I am Jayce. And I never want to hear you say
that I want it that way.
Thanks a lot, folks. That's X Radio X.
I mean, I want it that way. But not
or
that way.
But not that way.
Not that way.
Oh.
Ridiculous.
That way. Got it.